Testing 1, 2, 3, testing audio. Hello, hello everyone. Welcome back to this the fifth workshop on a five series episode. And today we're going over some questions that we have compiled for you. If you have any questions, you can post them on the live chat. And we are also going to go about a bit of the strategy configuration, also from a Q and A perspective, right? Okay, so this is the final episode, and we're going to do a recap also of everything that is needed for the hackathon participation. All right, so let's get started then. All right, so what we've been going through in the entire series has been at first in the workshop number one was an overview of the project, an overview of what is being built and what is um, the hackathon itself, right? Why are we building Canon and what is the purpose of the hackathon and how you can participate from a high level view. From there, we move into second workshop, Canon setup. This is super relevant because everyone that is going to participate needs to go through the setup of Canon, right? The installation. It's a very simple one single entry point, one single command to the AI agent, and it's going to auto install Canon for you. Then we had the third workshop in which we built the first strategy live. In there we had a couple options and stuff that we did in the process, right? And you have a couple other examples because this process of the first strategy has been built in the demo video. So there is a demo video also, which is a different one than the execution we did live. Also, we have news for the setup. We're going to be doing a short demo today because we did some updates there. As we said that we were going to continuously push update, we've been doing so. Workshop number four was customization, so you don't have to only use the template, but you have to make it work, fine tune it to the purpose you have on the prediction market, right? So that was workshop number four. We have a couple questions for it. We're going to be going over. It's going to touch base on workshop number four as well. In today's session, which is workshop number five, is Q&A. We have compiled a set of questions that are very very relevant and like the most common questions. We're going to be going over them. All right, so first let's do a check of what we have to prepare in order to make it to the hackathon, right? Um, in the in the hackathon checklist, we have the DoorHack hackathon registration. So you have to make an account in DoorHack and you have to register on the hackathon. Registration first means that you're going to be following the event, and then we have the submission of the hackathon, right? So we're going to be checking on the dates later down the session, but you know that you have to be on DoorHack. That's number one. Number two, as I said, is install Canon. That's coming from workshop number two, and yeah, simple one line command, and the agent is going to install it for you. Then we have to create a strategy with Canon, right? So this is coming from workshop number three. Then we have to customize our strategies because of course if you are using just a template you can use it and run it, but we're going to see the judging categories later. And if you don't have like anything new, you don't have any innovation on it, of course you're going to be going down in the innovation category, right? Then we have to actually run the strategy. So we're going to see the dates, but the strategy is not only for development purposes or for theoretical purpose only. You have to run it, and you have to run it live. So just a reminder, we lifted the $100 minimum, so you can run this strategy with as minimum as you want. So no reason not to run this strategy if you can afford to to participate with a minimum amount, right? And finally, once you have everything built up and running, you have to submit the participation, right? So this is the the limit in order for you to participate is May 13th. I'm sorry, May 30. So you have until May 30 to submit your participation, and the automation has to be running the participation period, which we are going to be checking on um, in a up following section. All right. So common questions. Common questions are going to be sharing a document in which I compile the the most common questions. So let's see if we can get it here. Right, one sec. Allow me to to drink water. All right, so we're going to be right now going over 19 questions, and it's going to cover everything from installation to participation. Sorry, I had to prepare something here in the setup in order to keep on going. All right, so we have the first question is how do I install Canon? As I said, there's no complexity here. We can come into the um, repository. We're linking the repo in the description, and it's a single command. It is an agentic description to the agent. Install DEGA core from X location, um, and it is going to install a bundle, right? So that is um, that is in the description as well. So it's installing a bundle. First, installing DEGA core, which is like the foundation, and on top of that is going to install Canon, right? Canon uses DEGA core, but to you all of that is transparent. It is a single install command. All right. So the your agent is going to read the install instruction and is going to take care of it for you. Um, Second is you have installed and you cannot see the commands, or the agent is not understanding your request because basically like it is not installed, right? The behavior is like it is not installed. At that point, you can try to restart your current session because if you are in a session already, it might not have loaded everything that is being installed, right? So if you have issues with it, you can come to the again to the step number one, install it again because the process is idempotent, right? So you can run it multiple times and it's not going to to break anything, right? So if you have issues, you can try first, close the session, open it again. Still not working, then you should try to reinstall. And if you have anything beyond that, you can come to our Discord channel and we will give you assistance on the matter, right? So you can come with the issue you have and we're going to provide assistance for you. Okay, question number three, we have how do I navigate the Canon terminal user interface, right? What are the shortcuts for it? First of all, the shortcuts, the most relevant shortcuts are present on the bottom of the screen. We have a status bar there. We're going to see it in a minute. But even if you don't use shortcut because you don't have to, you can simply request the agent to show you what you want to see, right? We saw that in the demos workshop number 2 and number 3. You can request, hey, show me this state, show me the the task, right? And it's going to present you with the correct view that you want to see, right? All right. Where does Canon keep the state and logs? This is, of course, a bit more technical question, but it is present in the same directory. It's going to save a Canon section and an orchestrator section. These are assistive directories, and it's going to save logs and other stuff there per project, right? So this is per project. And if you have the global configurations and all of that is going to DEGA core in the root of your system. It's going to .DEGA core and it's going to save this state there. As I said, you don't have to worry about it. This is a question because someone might be inclining to getting some of this information. So there is the location to find it. All right. So how do I start building a strategy? Um, this one you can go to the workshop number 3 and follow the process. And but this is strictly talking about a like the strategy, not running the actual command, right? So the in terms of the strategy, we are adding templates to the Canon. So when you run the start process, it's going to offer multiple templates, and from there you can select a template, and then that's going to bootstrap everything much faster, and you can get working code right away. Then you can start tweaking the template, right? So that is like the recommended flow. But of course, if you want to do a strategy from zero, that's totally welcome. If you want to pick a template and then change 40% of it, 50% of it, that is up to you. And that is going to, of course, bring your personality and your custom decisions into the automation, right? But if you feel like you don't know like how to do it, then the option would be picking a template and then going from there. All right. So what template ships with Canon right now? Because we're constantly increasing the available templates, right? The first one, the one that we saw in the workshop number 3 was the arbitrary. This is pure arbitrage and a binary decision, right? And from there, we have added 4 more. They were added to the to the repo after we did the workshop number 3. So they've been under development, but they have been released after workshop number 3. And we have the a couple extra, like, so the second one is a multi-leg arbitration, so it is not binary. You have more options. We have the trade momentum. This is like velocity, similar to the example we made for the MBA momentum strategy. At that time, that's available in the Canon demo video, not in the workshops, and that one is scanning from a third-party provider. That time was the odds, and they have the scoreboards, right? And you have the ability to read the market on Polymarket. So this one is just making comparison in between the two markets, and is in terms of velocity. Um, the odds are going to be updated faster than the poly market, right? So you're looking for that time that you have advantage information with the odds, and then taking a decision into the poly market, right? So that is the purpose of that specific MBA momentum demo, right? Then we have also market making. That is a different type of strategy, and we have fair value, which is a statistical value divergence. So we're constantly adding more. Most likely, we're going to have at least another 5 for the hackathon kickoff on May 4th. So yeah, we're constantly adding new strategies. All right, question number 7. The develop phase failed, test or leaned. What now? This also happened in one of our videos. I think it was workshop number 3. Yeah, workshop number 3. Yeah, most likely. But the case that you select a template, the agent start building for you, and then at the time of execution, it may find an issue, right? So, hey, this test is not working, or this file has something wrong there. What do you do, right? And this is in case you don't feel comfortable going into terminal checking the project, right? Um, and even if you know what you're doing in terms of programming, you can simply request the agent, right? To get started, the agent is going to try to resolve it. But if you find yourself doing changes, and it might not be agentic work, right? So you go do it yourself, then you come back and it is not working, you can then explain the agent once again, natural language. Hey, I did this update and now it is not working, right? Probably also updates in terms of the um, API. If you're using, for as I said, the odds, right? So you're reading value from a third party, and what if they change the interface, and at that time you're making a request and you're getting no response? So you can chat natural language with the agent and figure it out, and the agent is going to look for the updated version of that implementation and fix it for you, right? So what to do in case of a fail automation? You try to run it and it fails. At that point, the agent is going to be your best bet, and yeah, work your way through fixing it by prompting the agent to assist you with it, right? Explain what is going on, and then you can have a back and forth conversation fixing it. All right, customizing. Question number 8. Which parameters of the MBA momentum template matter most? This is once again as an example for the demo video. Um, a similar question could arise for any of the given or created strategies once you start building, just as an example, right? So, what do they mean, right? For example, first one, mispricing threshold. It is default to 0.5%, right? So at that time, that is the smallest edge that is going to attempt to process, right? So if the edge is under 0.5%, it's going to drop it, so it's not going to emit a signal. Pull interval, this is very common and it's going to be present in almost, if not 100% of the strategies, is the pull interval, right? So this is how often do you process your information. Right. So this depends. As I said, I think we discussed this on our previous workshop number 4. What is the purpose of it? It depends on the strategy, right? You might be working on something that is long term, and you can, at that point, you can extend the pull interval, or you might be working on a very niche section, very few data, so you don't need much time to process, and you can process multiple times per minute, right? So if you're focusing on, I don't know, um, just as an example, if you're focusing on 3 games, you can run that every 10 seconds, right? Because 3 games is going to be processed in a blink of an eye, and you're not going to have any issues um, with the processing time. You can run it every 10 seconds instead of every 30 seconds, right? Why? Because you're trying to find the advantage point, and the more checks you do, and the more chance you have to catch the edge before it gets before it's gone, right? So yeah, that's the interval. And if you're working on something that is not going to be changing super fast, there are prediction markets that take longer, but this is of course outside of the of the NBA games, with short period of time, as we discussed in the overview video. Why we selected NBA, but there could be like a question of the entire championship, right? So the question that is like who's going to win the entire championship, that's going to change, but it's not going to change every minute, right? So at most, it's going to depend on a couple games, and it's going to depend on probably um, the behavior of the teams, if they have any issues, injuries, and all of that. So that could be a slower strategy. Just to give you some examples here, right? All right, we have there also the a couple other, which is like the minimum book maker. In these cases, if you want to have more confidence, you can have multiple sources, right? And at that time, you need to make sure that the information is pointing to the same uh, result. And at that point, you can set like a minimum of agreement in order to process, and similar with the max delta, right? So if you don't, I think you can find a good position, and those are like the checks that you use for it. All right. So what happens if I raise or lower the mispricing threshold? As we said, that's the first one of the customization values we have there. So if you put the mispricing threshold too high, that would mean you get fewer signals. Why? Because the smaller opportunities would be dropped, right? So if you lower it, it would equal to more signal because it would take every opportunity, even though it is small. So this is not saying that this is good or bad by itself, right? This is your strategy, because if you are just trying to get signals, yeah, you can go lower on the threshold, but at that point you might not be making profit, right? So that is the balance, and that is the customization, the personality that you're going to add to the strategy in accordance to being safer or to taking more risk. All right, running live. So how do I switch from dry run to live? Because on default, once you boot it, it's going to run on dry mode, because you have to run it, right, to confirm that it is working, that it does have everything that is needed. And then once you have it working, you can switch it to live mode. How do I do that, right? you ask the agent, you request the agent, hey, we've, we've been running this strategy, this automation, and it's looking good. So let's switch to live mode. And at that point, the agent is going to edit the configuration, is going to make it live, and it's going to be working for you. For this, of course, you will need the wallet address and some other configurations. Don't worry about it. We're going to see it today. And yeah, you don't have to edit all of these. As I said, you don't have to go in and edit it yourself. You can request the agent to do it for you. All right. So how much do I need to fund my wallet with? There are two separate buckets, right? This is how the blockchain works, and this is how Poly Market works on Polygon. So once you need a gas token, which is what you're going to be using to pay for every single transaction, and then you're going to need trading capital. Trading capital is the actual um, funding that you're using for the opportunities, right? So we said we don't have a minimum, but of course you need to be able to move around. So a suggestion would be put $5 into the gas polygon. That is plenty enough. You can make a lot of transactions with it. Um, and yeah, that's going to work for approvals, order creation, order cancels, and redemptions, right? And then your trading capital, that is 100% at your discretion. Um, and as we've been stating multiple times across the workshops, um, it does. It's, for us, it's not mandatory to use a big amount of money, right? Because we're going to be scoring the percentages, not the net amount that you're going to be earning. So whatever you're comfortable with to operate, that's how much you have to use for the trading capital. And then we have a question here: can I call Polymarket directly, like from the agent without writing code? The answer is yes. So the agent has access to everything that is running the automation, right? So um, part of it is what is called the Canon CLI. Once again, you don't have to worry about it. The agent knows the modules that he has access to. So, for example, what do we mean by calling Polymarket directly? Um, we are adding new um, information, of course, to the Canon automation visually, right? So you're going to have your balance and everything there. Um, but in case you want to make a specific question, you can do so. You can like, hey, can we check um, the balance? And it's going to find the balance, even though it's going to be visible. So a better example would be, can you check in a specific market? Maybe you are not running the automation and you are not creating an automation for it, but you can request, hey, can we check the market for XYZ? And that's going to uh, make the request. You're going to get the information. It's not going to be something continuous, but you're going to get the info you want. As an example, right? So you can make it market search, price lookup, check order books, of course, your balance, your position. You could create an order and cancel an order, but of course, that would be not the most intuitive way to do it, right? Because the automation is the idea here in order for you to have it running and take advantage of opportunities according to the strategy. But the possibility is there, right? So the agent can call stuff from Polymarket. 1 second. All right. Now, what is the risk interface? Because you might find yourself reading about it. The risk interface is a series of checks that we're doing, right? Um, Prior to executing a a signal, right? So first we have the pre-check. This can return approve or which is like a green flag, or it can return a rejection with the reason for it, right? So that would be approved green flag or approved false. It's going to be red flag with the rejection reason. Um, and it could include like instructions to reduce the order size in case that is the like recommended way according to the signal. This is mandatory because you have to make at a bare minimum of checks, right? So if you can, you can extend this in order to make a lot more checks, right? But as a bare minimum, you have to include what is the the bare minimum of the risk interface. And once again, you don't have to fully worry about it if you don't want to, and you can check with the agent in natural language what is going on, right? So we have a circuit breaker, which was also mentioned on the workshop number 4, and we have some pre-trade checks and get exposure, right? So to give you an example, circuit breakers, if I lose three predictions in a row, then I'm going to stop the automation, right? So that is like a counter, and you can set a time. You can set a time frame. Okay, this is going to be per 24 hours. So if I lose three prediction in 24 hours, then I'm going to stop the automation, and it's going to remain stopped, right? So this is not a temporary thing. It's going to stop, and then you can, when you come back and when you have the availability, you can check with the agent. Hey, what was the the case of running the automation, right? So that is like this safeguard in case you want to protect your funding, right? And if you are willing and trusting your automation, of course you can lift or reduce the circuit breaker, right? So that would be like that would be like let's say you want to have it at a bare minimum and not have to stop. Okay, then I can do. Let's do if I fail 100 times on a month or something similar, right? So that is a very high condition that might not be reached, right? So that is the purpose of it. It's like the safety net that you have to configure, and that is of course part of the strategy. What are the hard limits? Okay, so hard limits similar to the risk interface, but this is the configuration. Um, is like if you want to use under 5% of your entire portfolio per single position and not have any signal execute more than 5%, that is an option. Similar to 15% correlated exposure and daily loss limit if you want to hold at any given percentage. And yeah, you can, of course, use them, modify them, or add more. That's up to you. Okay, we discussed about it. What does the circuit breaker do? It's a hard stop. When the hard limit is tripped, then trading a stop. That's a safety net, right? So recovery is not automatic. You have to go and check with the agent, the logs. It's going to give you the state what happened, and then you can restart it, right? And as I said, if you don't want it to happen, then you have to edit the agent. You have to request the agent to edit the circuit breaker in order to have less occurrences. All right, now hackathon logistic. How are points going to be scored in the hackathon? We have a slide for that, but in terms of the performance is going to be percentage and no absolute dollars. So yeah, $50 turning them into 75 beats 5,000 turning into 5,500. And the weights of the judging is 25% on innovation, 30% on technical, 30% on performance, which is coming from the um, percentage performance that you get on the investment, and presentation because we require a 3 minute video, 3 to 5 minute video. So presentation is going to be 15%. All right, what do I submit? This is similar to the checklist, but not entirely, right? Because checklist is like a step that you have to make. What do you submit? The submission is going to be the strategy goal. We're going to submit the execution logs, as we discussed earlier here. The Canon is going to save some logs in the Canon section, in the Canon directory. Those are not committed to the repository, so because those are like your personal um, stuff. But the automation that you want to present, you can present the logs. And let me be clear there because I said personal stuff. This is, of course, it's not personal in terms of your person. What I mean is this is these are the logs that are coming from the specific automations, right? So if you have multiple automation, they are going to have different logs. And what are they logging? The same stuff that you are able to see on the Canon project state, right? So if you like the signal and the automations that are running and the signals that are being triggered, that is what is included in the logs. And if you reach a signal and you trigger an option, that is going to be listed there. So that is basically the execution log, everything that happened in the automation even without the automation. So even if you share that, you're not sharing the automation yet, right? So that's why they are separate stuff, because the code is not going to include all of the execution. You can present the execution that you want to present in case you had like dry runs prior to the execution. That's going to make it clean, right? So we have only the one that you want to submit. That's code, execution log, a short write-up, which is a short description on when you make the submission, and demo video. As we said, 3 to 5 minutes demo video, and also the wallet address. We're going to see it right now in the demo how you get that, and this is required. And for cases that you have high earning claims, just want to let you know that this is public on the blockchain ledger. So if you have a high earnings claim, we're going to review the address, and even we might request proof of ownership in order to have a clean participation, right? Can I still participate if my strategy only scans? The live execution of the automation is mandatory, right? So that's why we said we listed the $100 minimum, and you can participate with as minimum funding as you want, right? You can use $2 if you find opportunities for it. You can do $5. You can do $10, and yeah, but you have to run the automation. And in this case, you have to at least start running it prior to May 30, and you have to run it through the NBA seasons, to the NBA playoff season, right? So that's going to be from May 30 to June 19, right? So that is the minimum competition window. But if you want to, you can run it. You can register as soon as May 4. If you have it ready, you can register May 4th, and that time you're going to be working on a bigger window. So that will give you time to maneuver. All right. So now let me take a sip of water, and let's see what we have left on the slides. All right, so hackathon logistics. This is important because this, as we said, this is like the summary of what we have for the hackathon, right? So timeline, key dates, we have May 4th is the registration opens. Once you have already your automation and everything, you can then um, you can then come to the registration. Um, the registration closes. So as I said, the minimum participation. Um, okay, so I said May 30 is May 31st. My apologies there, and let's fix the date. May 31st is the last registration opportunity. Why? Because um, we have to to be clear here and level the fields, so we cannot have a participant come only the last week of the competition and make good predictions by chance in the last week. So that's why we have a minimum from May 31st to be registered and be in the competition from May 31st at most. There's no minimum then under May 31st. So it has to be May 31st to June 19th. And if you are coming later than that, that would not be a level playing field for the rest of the participants, right? So you can go as soon as May 4th and as late as May 31st. The competition, although it's going to last, as I said, May 4th to June 19th. And the winner is going to be announced on June 23rd. Right. From there, we have the price. Price is $1,000, and this is USDC, and this is paid to the hackathon winner, first place. And yeah, a reminder: profit is going to be scored on percentage, not on the dollars. But we have the judging section, of course. We have a 25% innovation, 30% technical, 30% performance, and 15% presentation. All right, so what to do in between right now and May 4th? You can come to our Discord channel. Link is in the description down below. You have the option to go into the prediction markets hackathon, and there you can find updates. So you're going to keep getting updates on the hackathon and also on the Canon releases, right? As well, you can make community there if you need to. If you want to make participation, you don't want to make it alone. You can go there, find a team, find someone to work with, um, and provide some ideas to your team or execute ideas that other people might bring to the table. Okay, that's one thing. Coming to the Discord community. Secondly, you have to keep updated with the Canon releases, right? So we are constantly adding more templates, extending the Canon TUI, the terminal user interface looks, and the widgets and information that is being displayed there. Um, you can keep on customizing your strategy, and you have to get ready for live execution. So you can run your strategy for a couple hours, see if you get signals, and come back and analyze what could be going on. And as I said, keep customizing, keep raising and lowering the thresholds, the values, the safety nets, and you're doing all of this in dry mode. And when you're ready, you can switch it to live mode, right? And yeah, that would be it. Once again, you can come to the description. There you have a link to our Discord community. You can check on the YouTube channel. We have the playlist for the entire workshop. That is the 5 episodes are available there. And yeah, any question you can bring it to the NBA prediction market in the DEGA Discord. Um, all right. So I think that will be it. Thank you very much for all the time and um, all the support. Right. Don't hesitate. We're willing to assist you and help you. Just at the reach of a Discord message. Thank you very much. Have a good day.